Hello, welcome once again to Pale Blooms and Beyond. Thank you for joining us today. If you do like the programming you see here and the musicians and artists that I visit with, please be sure and hit the like button below and also subscribe to the channel. Paul Nash is a guitarist most known as original founding member and longest tenured member of goth rock band the Danse Society. The band formed in Barnsley in 1980 and had an original run until 1986. The original members were Steve Rawlings, vocals, Paul on guitar, Lyndon Scarfe, keyboards, Tim Wright, bass, and Paul Gilmartin on drums. The band would see various lineup changes throughout their career. In 2011, Danse Society would reform and are still playing and recording today. To date, there have been 8 studio albums, a plethora of singles, and several compilation releases, including the recent retrospective A to Z anthology and 40 Years of Danse, along with unearthed and restored live concerts and new remasters of the first 3 albums. Well, welcome, Paul.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Thanks for taking time out to visit. Well, take us back to the beginning. Where were you born?
So I was actually born in Chippenham, but I was brought up in Barnsley. So we moved there when I was about 2, I think, or something like that, and stayed around Barnsley into my teen years and into the start of the band.
Oh, okay. How far is the distance between the two?
Yeah, it's probably not that far. Probably about 2 or 3 hours worth, so a couple 100 miles from Chippenham to Barnsley. It was with my dad's work. He was in the mining industry, and Barnsley was well known for being the sort of central hub of mining in Yorkshire. Big mining town.
Okay. Would you recall early on hearing music in the household?
Yeah, not so much modern music. My mum and dad were into big band stuff, so things like Glenn Miller and Sid Lawrence.
All right.
My dad played, he liked playing the harmonica.
Oh,
my mum sang in the local choirs and things. So but we were sort of a little bit of music, but not what you might term modern music. They didn't really get that.
right.
I think that came from friends at school and
Right.
listening to the radio. Yeah.
Well, there was they were fans anyway. Yeah, of music. Well, was the guitar the first instrument you learned to play?
Well, no, actually.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, I was given the cello at school, so I started playing the cello from about age 10, and I did a little bit of piano as well. But I used to get ribbed for carrying the cello to and from school as a big violin.
right.
It was yeah, it was good. It was good fun. I enjoyed the cello for a while, and then it was my friend's brother who had a band and a guitar, and we used to go around to my friend's house and sit in his bedroom and steal his brother's guitar and work out tunes on his guitar, and that got me into playing guitar. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I do like the sound of the cello. I do like that.
Yes. Of course, we'll do. Yeah. In fact, we had some cello on the latest album, which was really nice. I didn't play it.
Okay, but you didn't.
Yeah,
well,
very nice. Nice and smooth.
Can you remember one of the first singles or albums that you got yourself?
Yeah, my first album that I bought was $1 Billion Babies, Alice Cooper, which is an absolutely cracking album. Still love that album today. It came on vinyl with the £1 million or £1 billion note inside. Yeah, fantastic album. I did get a lot of stick off my parents because of track 2 on side 1 is called Raped and Freezing, which didn't go down well with the parents. As you can imagine.
Yeah, did you redeem that $1 billion note, or
No, I still got it.
Okay, you got to put that in for your retirement.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard a few times how Alice Cooper, was pretty influential.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it was one of the first real sort of epiphanies when I saw Alice Cooper on Top of the Pops doing. Top of the Pops was a big UK music program on TV, one of the very few music programs on TV, and he was on playing Schools Out.
Yeah.
And it really made an impression. And that's what prompted me to go and buy $1 Billion Babies when it came out.
Yeah.
So,
I remember I saw him, it must have been late 70s in concert. And our seats were right behind the mixing board. You know how usually they'll put that like in the middle of the audience or whatever, And so we were able to move up, and we got like pretty good seats. They said,
yeah.
the usher came and said, hey, that it's kind of obstructed. You want to move up? Sure. Yeah. we went for it. Well, how about, speaking of live shows, the first concert that you attended, that you went to?
We used to go and see, in Barnsley, there was a band called Son of a Bitch, which later became Saxon.
Oh, okay.
So they, initially before they became Saxon, they used to play a very small hall called the Centenary Rooms above the Civic Hall in Barnsley. I went to see them about 7 or 8 times. They were fantastic. Really enjoyed that. I think my first big band that I went to see, if you like, was possibly Rush. I think I went to see the All the World stage tour in Sheffield. I think that was probably one of my first big ones. And Rainbow, I saw them at Manchester. A bit of Richie Blackmore. I was into my metal at the time. Yeah. That was a fantastic concert.
Yeah. I was talking to somebody the other day about Rainbow. I still like Kill the King. I think that's like my favorite track. I just love that guitar on that. Yeah. Well, what was the music scene in Barnsley around you, like as a teenager?
No, there wasn't a massive amount of bands, and mostly, as a teenager, it was mostly rock and metal, that type of thing growing up, which was okay, but there wasn't anything until sort of mid to late 70s when the punk scene started and sort of independent stuff came out, and I formed a little duo with my mate, and we were called Lipsex. And the only other alternative band that were around at the time was a band called Y, which was just the letter Y with a question mark. And then basically we sort of joined together to form, at the time we were called Dance Crazy. We sort of had a mutual love of weird and wonderful music and all sorts of strange, from the mainstream anyway, strange music, and our tastes sort of matched, and we got together and formed this 6-piece band called Dance Crazy, which then developed into Danse Society.
Right. Yeah. Well, whose idea was Y come up with the name?
Steve Rawlings was the leader of Y.
Okay.
Him and Paul Gilmartin, or Giggy, the drummer, were in that band, and 3 other people. Paul Hampshire, who went on to be very successful in Japan, and a bass player called Bubble, and I can't remember his real name. And the guitarist called Dave Patrick. And myself joined as a guitarist, and Lyndon Scarfe, who was with me as Lipsex, who joined as a keyboard player. So we were 6-piece for a while. And then Dave Patrick and Paul Hampshire both left, and then eventually Bubble left and was replaced by Tim Wright, and that was the start of Danse Society.
Okay, all right. Well, I think going back to the early material, I think Clock is a nice effort for the first single. Definitely. Nice guitar and echoey vocals on that. Yeah. I like.
Yeah, we enjoyed making that. It wasn't actually our first recording. No Shame in Death was actually our first recording, but it didn't get released as a single. It was too long and it was too expensive for us to put out as a 12-inch. But it did get released subsequent to Clock being recorded and put out. But yeah, Clock and Continent, the double A-side single, our first independent single. We had to save quite a lot of money and do a lot of menial jobs to do the pressing and everything else. And, but it was all worth it in the end.
Yeah. Was
Especially when
that yeah? Continent is an assault on the senses. That
oh
one.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I
Did
look
it?
on.
Was that like your first or one of your first times in the studio?
Yes, well, it was like I say, it was the second time in the
Yeah,
studio. We've gone
yeah,
in to do No Shame in Death and Dolphins,
yeah.
which was eventually released as a 12-inch afterwards. But the first time in a proper studio, well, second time in a proper studio was us recording Clock and Continent.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Was it a little intimidating first time or second time being in
Yeah,
the
well,
studio?
we had no idea what we were doing. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we were just trusting the guy. It was a small studio in Leeds called it's called Rick Rack, I think. Yeah, and you just a one sorry, just a one man. Sorry, got dogs. Just a one man band.
Okay. That's all right.
So,
How many dogs do you have?
oh, I've got two boxes and
Oh,
they're a
okay.
pain in the bum.
Are they?
Yeah,
Mine
must
can be
be-
too. I have a Labradoodle, and
oh, nice.
he can
Yeah,
be a pain. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So
The
anyway,
public, the public, the public
I'm
can
a
steal. Yeah, the
dog
public
lover.
can steal the show in a minute because
Oh, get a cameo.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well, go back to. Sorry about that.
That's all right. No, it's my fault. Well, don't be his fault. What are you doing? So it was a smaller studio, sort of like a one-man band thing, but the guy knew what he was doing, and I think he did a good job with it. It was a 16-track studio, he did a good job recording it. It was obviously nothing digital or
Right.
computerized back then. It was just go in and play, and then a couple of overdubs, and you're done
Yeah.
and done. Yeah,
Yeah, back in the earlier days. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Now the first album, Seduction, released in '82.
yeah.
I've got a copy of mentioned in the intro. I want the remastered version on Cherry Red. I picked that up, and it's got a few extra tracks on
Yeah,
there. In
got quite a
fact,
lot.
Clock uh,
Mm.
and was on there as well. So, uh, Ambition has that nice instrumental intro, and it develops into a great track, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Lyndon did a really good job with that. It was all of him really, and he just powers into Ambition really nicely. People forget about. I mean, the version that's on from Riverside, which is on YouTube and has had loads of views, was just obviously the second part of Ambition. But I really like the intro to Ambition. It's great.
Yeah, and again on that, I enjoy your guitar on that too
Thank you.
when it kicks in. Uh,
Yeah,
now, my heart, I like the frantic drumming on that.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Big enough for that. Yeah.
he was worn out after that.
Yeah. Well, he never stopped. I don't know how he managed it really. That he was just a powerhouse. He was
Yeah.
just coming up with all these crazy drum patterns and yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, it really suited your sound too, I think,
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
And
yeah. I think, we were trying to do something a bit different from the usual. I think we were taking a few cues from Killing Joke
yeah,
in
yeah,
terms of the powerhouse drumming, and especially after we'd toured with them. Um, Although we were sort of doing it beforehand as well. But yeah, that was obviously an influence.
right, right. I hear that. I definitely hear that. And then a dance move has that keyboard that would show up later and in a more pronounced way in my favorite Dance Society track, Heaven is Waiting. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, similar in quite a few ways in terms of it's got like I don't know, say disco beat, but it's a four to the floor type beat and we were trying to do something a little bit more commercial, I think, but again, being with a different twist on it.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, both songs have similarities for sure. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Now the album did well. It reached number 3 in the UK indie chart, so it did pretty well. Yeah,
yeah. The Evans Wright album, I think it got to number 19 in the actual charts. Yeah, which was pretty good. I mean, unfortunately, we didn't have a hit single from it,
all
which
right.
is which is what the record company were after,
Yeah,
um, and which was a shame, really. So we never quite made it on the top of the pops, which would have been good.
yeah,
But we had a big following, and we never considered ourselves as a singles band. It was for us. It was we were always, we talked about albums and from that era of prog rock and heavy rock and sort of classic heavy metal stuff. It was all about the album. It was never about the single. It was never about having a hit single. But that's the conflict you have with the record companies, who want you to have that instant hit and make them loads of money.
Yes.
Rather than be nurtured and and turn into the next Pink Floyd.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, unfortunately, that was always the case. Has always been.
Yeah.
So a lot of bands today, that are just doing home recordings and things like that, don't have to worry so much about that. And they're not in it for the money, doing that either. But at least,
No.
you don't have that over your head as much.
No. I mean, we were not in it for the money either, really. I mean, we were grateful to get a recording contract, which gave us a little bit of freedom to do the things that we wanted to do. But obviously that came at a price. These days, it's a slightly different kettle of fish, and recording contracts are not necessarily a good thing. You can do most of the stuff yourself now, but you couldn't do back then. You couldn't afford to go for a week or a month in the studio to record. It was just
No.
unless you were rich, it's just it's impossible.
That's true, and even with like a technology, I was talking to a guy. Well, I'll tell you, Don Powell, the drummer for Slade. Yeah, and just the other day, and we were talking about technology and how back in the day, I mean, they could do phone interviews, but not audio visual like this, unless I was there with you, or you were here,
Yeah.
And so it's there's an upside there's the downside of technology, but there's definitely a good side too,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no. I mean, the fact that you've got your own. Well, I've got my own studio upstairs, and I can demo songs, and even get them to the point where they're as good a quality as you would get in a professional studio. It's amazing, really. The way, but that's opened that up to everybody, of course. So everybody can go and do that if they want, and that's obviously saturated the market a bit. So it's not. You don't feel quite as special as you used to do.
Right. There's way
back
too
in the day, but like I said, we're not doing it for the money anyway. So it's about releasing that creative spark, and
it's about the music. Yes.
about the music.
Well, the '83 single "Somewhere" has I think to me, a more mature, developed sound. Again, great guitar groove on that one.
Yeah, that song was it developed and progressed quite radically from the original song. And when we went into the studio, we were put in the studio with Richard O'Brien, who produced it. Richard O'Brien, you may know from Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Right. I was going to say the same one. Yeah,
the same one. And Crystal Maze in the UK, which was a big, massive television program. And we didn't know he'd had any real sort of music acumen, or even I think it was his first track that he'd actually had to go at producing. So he came with quite a lot of different ideas and different ways of doing stuff, and we rearranged the song quite a bit and changed it around. And he added some bits and pieces in of ways of doing things, and I think he did a great job in terms of like getting the sound that we wanted. We worked together on it. It wasn't all him, but he's just one of them that sort of came together really nicely in the studio, and was obviously our biggest hit. Up to that point. Yeah.
Richard O'Brien. Did he go on to do any other work with any other bands or anything?
I honestly don't know. I can tell you, to be perfectly.
That's interesting.
He's a very interesting and strange guy.
yes, I've heard stories. Yes. To work on Rocky Horror, you had to be, I think.
Absolutely.
We came with the territory. Well, now onto my favorite Danse Society album. Maybe many fans, Heaven is Waiting.
Yeah.
Come Inside. Great way to kick off the album, I think. I like the piano in it and the brooding feeling of the track. Yeah.
That song was, I really like that song personally. I love the intro again from Lyndon that he put on that track. which isn't on some of the CD reissues for some reason. It seems to have lost its place, but we remastered it recently, and it's on there now. It's been restored,
Yeah.
and then it's just got a really good groove. Nice, powerful guitar and drums, and it just motors along really nicely. And it's and Steve's lyrics I thought were really, really clever.
Yes, yes, I think so too as well. Wake Up has a nice keyboard in that one, in that track. Yeah.
Yeah, another sort of attempt at being a bit more dancey, if you like. Quite a fast sequence going on with that. Again, nothing like modern times, like today. If we were doing that again, it would all be linked and on a sequencer but it was all done manually back then. But it worked really nicely. The layers of keyboards are
Yeah.
really, really cool, and builds up to a really nice big start, and then cracks on nicely. Yeah.
I think so too. I think well said, well said. And then the title track, Heaven is Waiting, again, my favorite from you guys, especially the extended version. And I still have I hang on to these. I hang on to all my vinyl that I never get on CD. Well, especially like the 12 inches and things like that. I'll hold this up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll remember. Yeah, you'll remember this. Yeah. And I used to DJ at a dance club in San Antonio in the
Oh,
mid
cool.
'80s, and I would play that extended version
Yeah.
quite a bit. Yeah. And it'd get them out there on the floor. I mean, they were.
Yeah, it's a good dance track. Yeah, I mean, like I said, there was this crossover happening at the time, the sort of early '80s, where there was a lot of independent dance, sort of alternative dance stuff going on there, and I think we were just being influenced by that in some respect, and trying to
Yeah.
do something along them lines. Yeah,
Yeah. Right. You
quite a
meant.
few, sorry.
Go ahead. No ahead.
I mean, there's actually quite a few different versions of Heaven is Waiting, different dance floor versions. Knocking about. I think we even did a special US mix, which is on. I think it's on the 40 Years of Dance Extend CD.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. You mentioned Killing Joke earlier. Another track I love is Love Like Blood.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that was another one that used to. I mean, they would crowd the dance floor for that one.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, 2000 Light Years from Home, the Stones cover. Great drumming and eerie keyboard on that one.
Yeah, it wasn't my idea. Again, the record company wanted us to do sort of a cover. So we picked something fairly obscure.
Yes.
But a great track. I mean, the Stones version is fantastic, and we thought we'd try and do it justice, but modernize it a little bit, and I think it worked pretty well. There's a really good 12-inch version of that track as well, 2000 Light Years.
Oh, I haven't heard that one. I don't believe. I just know the album version. I'd like to hear that. Yeah. Yeah. What was the one the Verve, the cover they did of the Stones? A huge hit.
The Bittersweet Symphony.
Yeah, Bittersweet Symphony. Yes, exactly.
It wasn't really a cover. They just ripped or sampled the strings version of it.
That's what it ended up being. You're right. Yeah. You're right. Exactly. Completely. Yeah. Totally different. Yeah. Totally. Well, the Night. That's probably my second favorite on the album. I love the mood on that one and the icy keyboards. Yeah.
Yeah. Very atmospheric track. I think it's one that almost didn't make the album because it was very slow.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a really nice atmospheric track. We tried to keep it sort of very spooky and dark.
Yeah, it was. I guess the label didn't particularly like that track.
Probably not.
Yeah. Now on my CD, there's a couple of extra tracks. Seduction, which was originally the B-side to the Wake Up single.
Yes.
I really like this one. especially the keyboard. Again, the keyboard, on that one.
Yeah, again, it's a track in two halves, that one. It starts off very atmospheric and quite slow, and then halfway through powers in with the drum beat, and again, simple but very powerful lyrics from Steve. He did a great job with that. And that was a track that was written in between the Seduction album and Heaven's Waiting album, but didn't make the Heaven's Waiting album, but we got the B-side, like I said.
Right. Well, the song would be reworked years later. Yeah.
We did. Yeah, we did rework it. I think 2012 we reworked it, and we've done a few different versions of it. But I think that version's really, really good, with Maith singing. Yeah, it's another really good version of the song. It's a very powerful track.
Now here's where the label kind of inserted their push here for the "Say It Again" single.
Absolutely, you can tell.
Looking for the hit.
Yeah, it was a sort of all or nothing, desperate attempt to get us to have a hit, and Dead or Alive and
oh god,
with "Spin Me Round Like a Record," and so we sort of gave in and said, okay, that track's really good. If they can do something like that, Stock Aitken and Waterman, maybe we can work with them and go for it and do Say It Again. It's radically different from the actual demo that we did of it.
I can imagine.
As you can imagine, yeah. And it was an experience doing it. We really didn't have to do a great deal. I literally played a couple of guitar licks into the sampler, and then that was it. And similarly with the drums, it was all done on Drum Machine. So there's no live drums on there. It's just programmed. The only real live thing on there was Steve singing. Most of the rest of it was, just taken apart from the demo and then put back together again by Stock Aitken. I'm going to say Mike Stock and the other guy, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, Stock Aitken and Waterman.
Yeah. Pete Waterman never did anything. He just popped his head in now and again.
Did he? What a nice job to have. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he was too busy playing with his trains.
That's funny.
But yeah, I mean that, and it was close. We got close to the charts of that. I think if they'd have spent a little bit more money pushing it as opposed to all the money recording it and all the rest of it, and spend a little bit more on the marketing budget, I think it would have got into the charts. But it was close. I think we got to something like 43 or something, just outside the top 40. So,
okay. Do you still play that song live today?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not one of my favorites. To be fair, people love it. People love it, and it's a bit of an anomaly. It would be difficult to play or recreate live, I think. So after that, we went to America to record our last single with Arista BMG, which was "Hold On." Yeah.
I was going to say I don't blame you for not playing it live. Let me just say that. I mean, it's a good track, but I like so many others so much better. But yeah,
it's a little bit of it's a little bit off at a tangent, I think, from our normal repertoire. So that's the only reason, really. Not that I don't like it particularly. It is what it is, and it's a good little dance track, a good little pop single. Not really the Danse Society of what we set out to do when we started.
Right. Good. Well said. Well, for 1986's "Looking Through," David Whitaker would replace Lyndon on keyboards. Interesting. Did you happen to see my interview with David?
I haven't, no.
Okay. I will, so you don't have to scroll to find it. I'll send you the link later when we're done, so you can check that out. Yeah. It was interesting talking to him, and about music for pleasure, and then
Music Pleasure, fantastic band, really, really good.
yeah,
Great sound. Again, they're a similar experience to us with record company. Um, and yeah, we were really fortunate to get David to join. He was an incredible keyboard player and lovely person.
yes, yes. Let's look in here real quick if I happen to have that. Was he also in the Expolaires?
Yes, he was in the Expolaires. He played bass, I think, for the
Okay,
Expolaires.
I thought
Yeah.
that was true. Yeah. Well, the and again, say it again was on the album itself. Then all members except Steve left to form Johnny and the Clouds.
No, Steve left to form the Society.
Uh-huh.
He got sort of as things fell apart, as they do once record company given you up, and he decided to have a go as a sort of solo career. Released a couple of singles with Society, but not successful. We went on. The rest of the band went on to form Johnny and the Clouds, and we got Music for Pleasure's Mark Copson singing with us briefly. In fact, we wrote an album, but it never got released.
Okay.
Which was a shame because there's some great songs on there, and he was a great vocalist. And then that was basically it. Then after
Okay. How briefly were you guys together, Johnny and the Clouds?
probably about a year, maybe 18 months, something like that. Like I say, we wrote an album, we did a few gigs, and tried to get a record deal, and were unsuccessful. So
Yeah. Now here's where we were talking earlier about technology and how it can be positive, how the internet can be a positive force.
yeah,
Talk about how the campaign, the Dance Society reformation plot got started.
yes. Yeah, well, I knew nothing about it. So, to be perfectly fair, I hadn't been on Facebook that long. I think, and whoever set it up, it was a fan who set it up, and gathered some momentum. And first I knew about it was Dave and Giggy coming over to Scarborough, said, "Do you want to meet up?" And then they told me about it, and do we want to get the band back together from the famous Blues Brothers film?
Yeah.
So yeah, so that happened. I mean, it was a bit strange, and the three of us then went about trying to recruit Steve or find Steve because he disappeared. He disappeared after he'd done his couple of records as Society, and as far as we knew, he was in LA. Eventually, we did track him down, but it took quite a while and to see if he was interested. He said he was, but he obviously was in LA, and so we went ahead and wrote an album's worth of songs, just the three of us. I played bass and guitar, and Dave did keys and Giggy did drums, and wrote a few lyrics and bits and pieces. And the songs were sounding really good. We're really happy with them. And eventually we got Steve did come across to the UK very briefly for his sister's wedding, and we met up and he came to the studio and he recorded one song, and then he promptly disappeared again. Literally completely just went off the radar. Couldn't get hold of him, couldn't get any communication with him. He just disappeared. So we were stuck really with one sort of semi-completed song that was just about finished, and another 12 songs without vocals, which is where Mathilda steps in. So,
what had she done previously? What did she?
well, she'd been with she was Italian, so she'd been in various bands in Italy. And her most recent project, which is still going, is called Blooding Mask, which is a sort of avant-garde, dark, goth sort of solo project, but she gets lots of guest musicians to come and join her and help out. And so, yeah, she contacted the band, I think, initially with the perhaps just getting, she heard about the album and just wanted to sort of help out. And then I think it was Giggy who asked her to sing a few songs, and which she did. And it was fantastic. So we said, let's get together and finish the album,
Yeah,
which we did. And
the,
that was the Change of Skin album.
yeah, the chemistry was there from the get-go.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, I got to say, going back to that from the internet, that's got to make you feel good to have fans like that, that were wanting you guys to get back together. And
it was a bit mind blowing, to be perfectly honest. Yeah. A lot of people would have forgotten about us after 30 years or 25 years, however long it was. Yeah, right. But apparently not. So that was really nice. Yeah, it's really helpful.
Yeah, talking about Steve kind of appearing and disappearing. I talked to Stan Greenwood, Skeletal Family, and he talked about the original singer Anne Marie.
Yeah.
And she would do that. She came back with them for a little bit, then left, and then when they reformed, she was there, and then she's gone again. So it's and then I think family gets in the way. She started a family. I think that kind of got in the way too. But yeah. Interesting. In through the outdoor or out through the indoor. Zeppelin. Right. Exactly. Well, okay. Well, so that's how that got started. Okay. And the Change of Skin album, 2011, with the singles "God Cry" and "Vatican" off of that one.
Yeah. "God Cry" and "Vatican" were sort of two singles. Oh, and there was one other one which was
Seduction. Seduction was
Resurrection. Yeah, we did the Seduction as well, but that was after. Resurrection was the first single, and then, like I say, "God Cry" and "Vatican."
Okay.
Were the other singles from that album. But again, they weren't singles. They were just album tracks that were sort of a bit more commercial than the other ones. We weren't interested at that point in trying to hit the singles charts or anything. It was just about getting the album out because we thought it was really, really good. Still do think it's really good, and wanted people to hear it. We did get a lot of blowback, obviously, without Steve being on the album. Change of singer, and it's always difficult. But we didn't really have any choice, to be perfectly honest. And I think you get a lot of misogyny about female singers, which is it's not good. But overall, I think the response and the critics, etc., all really liked the album. It went down really well.
Yeah, you mentioned changing lead singers, whether it's female or male. I talked to John Ellis, who was a guitarist in the Stranglers after Hugh Cornwell left. And talking about that, how lost a lot of fans that way, after Hugh. And then I talked to a guy, Frank Allen from the Searchers. Remember the old and he was playing at Glastonbury. And how exciting that was. And he said Hugh was there. Hugh performed, Hugh Cornwell. And he said the fans are still, with him to this day. Very loyal, with his solo material. Well, how was your first live show in 25 years at the festival in Germany in 2012?
Yeah, it was good. It was really good. It was a bit scary. We've not been on stage for a long time, and big stage, big crowd, and it was absolutely roasting hot, and it was sort of mid-afternoon as well, which was not great, but we enjoyed playing.
Was it hotter than it is there right now?
Yeah, about the same, I would say. Yeah, it was. Yeah. We were very hot.
Wow. Well, a pretty big crowd, though. Pretty good.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we were in the park outside. That's why that's what made it even worse. We were on an outdoor stage in this park auditorium. Quite a few thousand people there, so it was good. Yeah.
Well, speaking of scary, a segue into the Scary Tales from 2013. How was that album received?
Really well. We did, again, trying to do something a little bit different. It was on sort of a mini album, a bit along the lines of Seduction, just 6 tracks. Wanted to do something that was a bit different, so we did a book to go with it, which has got a long poem in it, which sort of ties all the tracks together. And the tracks were all sort of themed on horror stories of ghost tales or whatever. So we've got Jekyll and Hyde, and the Wolf, and the Tale, which is about witch and that sort of thing. So yeah, we're just trying to do something a little bit different. I think it was a fun project to do.
Was it released around Halloween? Was it just...
No, it was released in February. No, not with you, baby. We could wait that long.
Yeah, right. Well, in 2014, Paul would leave the band.
Yeah.
And shows had to be canceled that you had lined up.
Yeah, it was a shame. Yeah, we started a small tour. It was just I think it was 6 dates or something, and he just had a bit of a meltdown and decided he didn't want to do it anymore. So yeah, he left, which left us a bit stuck. So we did have a couple of options, but in reality, the only real option was to cancel the rest of the tour, which was unfortunate, but had to be done.
Yeah. Well, you guys are no worse for the wear today. So
no.
The band did a very interesting cover of "Sound of Silence." To when I saw that, on YouTube, I said, "Is that the same song?" I said, and
yeah.
Of course, listening to it is Simon Garfunkel. But I really like your guitar in that one.
Yeah,
it's almost like to me, it's almost like the Robin Guthrie. They almost like a Cocteau Twins-ish, kind of.
I'll take that.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that sound.
Yeah. No, again, it's such a fantastic song. I just wanted to do something a bit different with it, and I think it's one of them where you get a song stuck in your head, and it just wouldn't go. And I knew we could do a really, really good version of it. So just working out, and it came from the guitar line that I sort of worked out, and that was in my head how to do it, how to record it, and slow it down and do a different version of it. And I think it worked really, really well.
Fast forwarding to 2015, the 6th album, the band's 6th album, simply entitled Roman numeral 6. Yeah.
Well, V1 actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is 6, but also as you see from the cover, it's World War II bomber. Well, not a bomber.
Okay. It also means that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So a double meaning there. Okay.
Double meaning. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, double meaning. Okay. So yeah, we obviously had some new personnel, and Ian Hunter on drums, who was an incredible drummer, and Sam Bollins on keys. And we'd had Jack since 2014 on bass, and yeah, that album came together really, really well. But basically went to the studio and played it live and recorded it, and that was pretty much it. It just flowed perfectly. It's got some great tracks on the album. We still play a couple of those live today. So yeah. Lovely, and a very enjoyable album to make.
I sometimes like those kind of the more organic recordings, like you said, live, not a lot of overdubs and things like that. Yeah, I like the way they come out. Yeah. Well, now there was an EP in 2018, The Futurist, with a cover of Nine Inch Nails' "Hurt" on there.
Yes. Yeah. I mean. What happened was that Ian had family commitments and things, so he left, and we again got another fantastic drummer called Josh Rylance in to cover for Ian, and we recorded 3 songs just locally in a local studio with the cover of The Hurt, which Nine Inch Nails had done, and obviously a Johnny Cash song. but a great song, such a good, powerful song. We just thought it would suit Mayth's vocals really well. A female singing version of it, which I think worked really nicely. And the other two songs were just something, again, a little bit different. Scream, like a powerful sort of rock song, and One Thought in Heaven, which was a little bit more hysteric, a little bit sort of funky jazzy almost, I guess. But again, that worked really nicely, and just yeah, went and recorded them and thought they'd be make a nice little EP, as you do. And then unfortunately, before we got round to sort of recording some more, writing some more, Joss left. So again, we were stuck without a drummer. The eternal tale of
right,
finding good drummers.
A good drummer, good beat. Yeah, well, now mentioning Hurt, that song was dedicated to the Sophie Lancaster Foundation.
Yes.
For those watching who don't know what the foundation is, tell us what that is.
So the Sophie Lancaster Foundation is a charity that's been set up after the death of Sophie Lancaster, who was unfortunately bullied and killed for her looks. She was a young goth girl of tragic tale, really awful. And her mother set up the foundation to as an anti-bullying and anti-abuse charity. So it's very poignant. We live near Whitby, where we have a biannual goth, not biannual, twice a year. Is that biannual? Twice a year? Goth festival. Yeah. And obviously a lot of goths and people into the alternative culture come twice a year to sort of celebrate that type of music and dress, etc. So it was an awful thing. So we dedicated and gave the profits from that to Sophie Lancaster Foundation.
Yeah, that's nice that you guys did that. Yeah, that's a really nice thing to do. Well, in 2020, the band's 7th album, Sailing Mirrors, to celebrate the band's 40th anniversary. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does it seem like, first of all, that long?
No. It really doesn't. No, it doesn't at all. It's just time flies so quickly. It's just crazy, especially when you get older. It just goes past.
Oh, doesn't it? Tell me about it. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, again, it's just the natural evolution and development of the band. Moving on to again some interesting and different songwriting. It just evolved. We got Dave Whitaker back in on keys to do some orchestral stuff on the album, which is predominantly on the title track, Sailing Mirrors. Beautiful orchestra he put on there, and it's got some really cool tracks on it. It's a lovely album.
Yeah, you're pretty happy with that one.
Yeah,
well. Yes. Well, and then the band's 8th studio album, The Loop, was just last year, right?
Yeah, last year. Yeah. Again, switch drummers yet again. So Tom Danforth played on Sailing Mirrors. Unfortunately, he died. He got cancer and died, which was a real shame. And then we recruited a guy called Dylan Riley, who's again a really impressive drummer. We got a new keyboard player, Steve Dickinson, who's fantastic, very 80s influenced, and wrote the loop, all the tracks for the loop, which again a slightly different direction. Again, we decided to use some more live musicians, so we used some brass on a few of the tracks, and we used violins and cellos on a couple of tracks as well. And I think it's I think it's a really good album. Very, very pleased with it. We've got a couple of very sort of ambient-y type tracks and a bit under the lines of the Seduction on there, and we've got some sort of very up-tempo, fast, almost sort of. One reviewer quoted it as doom jazz.
Doom jazz.
Doom jazz. But it's also sort of more standard, if you like, Danse Society tracks as well. So yeah, very, very, very pleased with that album. I like the way it turned out, and yeah, it went well. Got good reviews and good sales, etc. So I was quite happy with that.
Well, there's that cello. So you went full circle. You know.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Although I didn't play it. Yeah, so.
Okay, you couldn't get away from the cello.
No. I couldn't remember that. That's 50 years ago, so I don't remember playing.
Right. Well, you did mention Paul's passing last year as well. Yeah.
Yes, Paul passed last year. Yeah, in fact, just over the anniversary of it. Yeah, that was a bit of a shock. Yeah.
Was he sick for quite a while? Or?
No, I don't believe so. I mean, we sort of lost contact really the last couple of years, but as far as I knew, it was okay. So it was sort of fairly sudden. It was a big shock, really.
Wow. Well, speaking of Steve, what's he up to these days, or have you lost contact?
Completely lost contact. Like I said, after he came over and recorded that one track, he disappeared, literally disappeared. I've not had any contact at all since then. So that's how many years ago now? Nearly 14 years ago. So yeah. I have no idea where he is, what he's up to, what he's doing, anything. Unfortunately, he just doesn't. He doesn't communicate.
Wow. What about the other original members?
Well, the original. Well, so Lyndon is still around. I've not talked to him for quite a while now. Tim Wright, who was the original bass player, again, he completely went off the radar. He's in the UK, somewhere in Manchester, I believe, but I'm not 100% sure. Again, not in communication with Tim for a long time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what's going on currently as far as you got some live shows set up?
Yeah. So we're currently writing our 9th album.
Oh, okay.
We are a good way through it. It's coming together really nicely. We are planning. We will have some gigs in September, sort of localish gigs, so not traveling too far. Just a very small tour around Yorkshire, and just to really get us ready for a couple of dates abroad. So we're doing a big festival in Madrid in November, and there's a couple of possibilities which haven't been confirmed yet. So just waiting to hear. So yeah, we're still out and about doing things, and in the meantime, writing and finishing off really. The writing pretty much is done, so we are just finishing off and polishing up, ready to go back in the studio to do some more recording.
Oh, all right. Have you played Spain previously?
I think I seem to remember we went to Spain with Johnny in the Clouds.
Oh, all right.
Which is a long, long time ago and very hazy.
Yeah, I imagine so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard.
But other than that, we haven't played Spain. No, we did Portugal not so long back with the modern incarnation of the Danse Society, but we haven't done. I don't believe we've done Spain since Johnny in the Clouds.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard how avid their fans can be. They've got some good fans there.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. How about Germany?
We haven't played Germany recently. Oh, we did. Sorry, no, I'm telling a big lie there. We went back to Leipzig to Wave Gothic Treffen. Was it last year? I think it was last year. To do, we got on the main hall, main stage. It was fantastic. Yeah, it was a sort of last minute thing, and we had a crazy travel over there. It was about, I think it was planes, trains, and automobiles marked times 10 to get there. But we got there in time and played played the main stage. The Editors were headlining. They're a fantastic band.
Oh,
Love the Editors. And yeah, we had a really good time there. It was fantastic.
yeah.
It was last year, yeah.
Was it? Okay, yeah. I didn't forget to ask you about live shows, playing live. Any fond memories, or like from early on, or in any period in the band that really stood out to you?
Um, the early stuff's quite hazy now, but I fondly remember our two tours with Supporting Killing Joke through the UK. Those were great. We did some big gigs in London, which I really enjoyed. I think our final London gig was at the Dominion Theatre. There was a couple of thousand people there. That was pretty special. And a few big festivals. Recently, like I said, the Leipzig Web Gothic Treffen one last year was fantastic. That was a great memory. I can't think of ones before that, but the Portugal tour was really good fun. We did a few dates in Portugal. That was great. So yeah, it's always fun to get out there and play, and play not just the old stuff but the new stuff as well. We sort of always split the set half in half. We do half the old stuff and half new stuff. It's always good fun. So I'm getting attacked by my doggies.
Are you getting attacked? do they want to make an appearance?
There we go.
There we go. Oh wow! Oh,
I don't want licking.
Big dog. Yeah, good size. Good size. Yes. Yeah. Oh, loves daddy. That's for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Hello.
Oh.
No, where's that gonna go?
No. Oh wow! Hello.
You're beautiful. You're 11 years old now, aren't you?
Oh, really?
11 years old, you're an old girl. Old lady.
Oh,
Queen of the house.
Right. Yeah, mine is about, yeah, let's see, when was it? Probably 8 or 9 years old, I think now. Yeah, he's and his legs are starting to, they say that about Labradors anyway. Well, Labradors, yeah, they start to, so he's getting up really slower than, and laying down slower than he used to, so
yeah, turmeric.
Yeah.
Put turmeric in there.
Okay. Put a little bit of that in there. Okay.
Yeah. It's good for the joints.
Oh, okay. Turmeric. I'll tell my wife about that. And then he's got the allergies, the ear allergies too. And we're giving him some chewies for that, for their allergies and stuff. He shakes.
Yeah, they do that.
Yeah, that. But other than that, he's doing well. He's a good dog. Good dog. Oh, all right. Well, thanks for the cameos too. It's always fun. Lightens the mood a little bit. Well, I want to thank you, Paul, for doing this again.
Thank you.
I can't think of anything else. Did you think of anything we might have missed out or omitted, or you'd like to mention anything?
No. No, it's been an absolute pleasure. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Okay. Well, you're very welcome. And I will send you a copy of this probably in a week. Yeah. So, your copy, so you can post it wherever you'd like, and it'll be on my channel,
Yeah. That's lovely.
Oh, and before I forget it, I'll send you the link to David. There we go.
I'd love to hear that. Yeah.
So you can watch that a little bit. All righty. Then thanks. Okay. I appreciate it again. Thanks again. And all the best to you. Okay, Paul?
All the best to you too, Greg. Thank you so much.
All right.
Now. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye. Okay. All right.